Hi everybody, it's Casey Wallace here at the Portal to Ascension conference, having the opportunity to sit down in person with our friend Justin. We had the opportunity to introduce you to him pre-conference in a fantastic interview where we got introduced to him and his super cool energy. And I indicated in that interview with Justin that I already got this fabulous energy from you. And watching him walking down the aisle and getting excited to get him back in the chair and let us chat, a little bit further and deeper about what he is bringing in his experience here on the Earthship, in his decisiveness to set his intention to make things better for all of us. But one of the things that I really love about him also is he has this incredible energy of inclusion. He wants the conversations. He wants the information. He wants to share the information. He doesn't want to keep information from you, and he doesn't want to tell you which information he thinks is what you have to hear. So it's this super cool, permissive energy, and it exudes off of him. So sit down, have your little cup of tea as you sit in and listen on the conversation. How have you been?
I've been great. Yeah,
great.
Having a great time.
Are you here chatting at the conference? Are you going to be speaking?
Yeah, I'm going to speak tomorrow.
Lovely. What time?
Tomorrow at 4:10.
Okay.
And the talk is entitled "The Illuminati's Greatest Secrets."
Ooh, fun is that?
Yeah.
How fun is that? Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to be getting into, basically we've heard about how the Illuminati, the Cabal, they control us through fear.
Yes.
And our emotions, and they harvest energy and things from us. So what I've been able to discover through my research over the years is the actual psychological mechanisms within us that allow them to do that.
Yeah.
What's interesting is when I understood that, I also understood the ultimate purpose of life and existence itself. So there were two things interrelated there that we're going to be able to unpack and discuss. So I'm really excited to do this.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that really resonated with you. That's one of the pinging things for you, right?
Certainly, yeah, because, I'm sure as a lot of people go on their journey to try and understand what's happening on this world, I'm like, why is the world so the way it is, And I discovered through spirituality and some research that, supposedly the Creator is this infinitely good being and loving and caring. And so I'm asking myself, well, if the Creator is truly loving and caring and we're living in this universe founded on love, why is the world so messed up? Why is there so much hardship? Why is there so much suffering? What's wrong?
Right.
And effectively, the answer to that question was so mind-blowing to me that it took me 3 years to fully process what it truly meant. And I knew that I needed to figure out a way to unpack it for the average person, because effectively what the Cabal have done is they've blinded us to these values, these truths that are swimming all around us. And once we finally pull back the layers, we can see reality for what it is.
Yeah, and the depth and complexities to keep those walls in place in this continual feed of ongoing glue, that's just glue after glue after glue after glue after glue.
Precisely.
Yeah, it's nearly perfect, really. I mean, I want to say, in our own teachings and stuff, fear is nearly perfect in its captivity of you, right? The great news is that the key of love fits any lock.
Absolutely.
That's amazing, right? That's amazing.
Yeah.
And to not think that that's a weird thing or a religious thing or something, we even have a tendency to judge love itself, right? I mean, that's how perfect they have made us afraid of this energy.
Precisely.
Isn't that? I mean, I get excited. It sounds funny like I get excited, but it's when you get excited when something clicks for you, right? It's like I can remember sitting in algebra class in high school and just sitting in the back going, I don't get it. I just don't get it. What is pi? Who came up with that formulation? And why is there a whole mathematical system based on something that I can't get the mechanisms of, right?
Right.
And sitting in that frustration, of course, I hated algebra, I hated the class, hated everything related to it. Then in life, when all of a sudden you're like, but oh shit, I just got it, and things just start working, and I'm getting good test scores. that's how everything in our awakening process is. I don't get this. I'm in pain, I'm in suffering, I can't find my way out, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And getting excited, like for you, Justin, you said, oh my God, I got it. I had to assimilate it, marinate it, expand it for 3 years because we want it to have your authentic energy on it for your presentation, because you're going to help other people get it too. That's got to feel incredible for you.
Oh, it does. And, you know, like you said, I think one of the things that is so liberating about using the power of love is that when you embrace the ability to love things that you don't necessarily want to love, you break down the resistance to them and you realize there's something of value on the other side of your resistance you didn't know was there.
Well, that's the wisdom of stuff, right? I mean, no matter how you track or whatever type of journey you're on your spiritual gain, a lot of people are really loving the ancient theories and digging up this stuff. And I'm like, and each culture, each civilization, each fear or limitation, as well as expansiveness, have golden nuggets for us to start building our realities from, right? They're always there. Right? Like Julia says, nothing happens to you, everything happens for you, right? And if you can just even almost embed yourself with that mantra as you're facing extraordinary opportunities for expansion instead of challenges, just that energy will start to shift how your existence is.
Precisely.
Right?
Yeah. I like to liken it to a video game. If you're, or just any type of game, if you're not playing the game as intended, then you're not progressing through the game. It doesn't feel good to play. You know what I mean? And I mean, if anybody's played a video game, there's usually various levels in the game. And if you don't progress through the level, you'll just sit there in that one place, looping around forever.
Right.
Or a good analogy is school. If you're trying to move through school and you don't learn, if you don't embrace the things you need to embrace, then you're just going to sit in that sophomore year or whatever it is for a long time.
Pre-algebra 4 times.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the things that the Cabal have done is they've created a culture of victimization.
Of course.
And a misery loves company kind of culture.
Absolutely.
Because they know our nature better than we do. And they know that you would rather suffer with other people than thrive alone.
Well, that's because you'll be punished for that.
Yeah.
I mean, all they have to do is set up a punishment and reward system.
That's it.
And an agenda and requirement system. Every system that our societies work off of, from our legal system. I call it a legal system, not a justice system. A legal system, our economic structures, our political structures, our educational systems, our communities and our organizations, our religions. Everything is built on acquirement, agenda, punishment, and reward. Okay? And you're right. I mean, this just thrives, and we have been taught through every existence, whether you believe that you are in a singular existence only in this lifetime, or if you have a connection in the knowing that you have multiple existences everywhere concurrently, or even if you believe in the theory that you've had past existences and you're working in some type of a structured timeline for yourself, that the worst thing that we have accepted is that the worst punishment for us is isolation.
Yes.
Okay?
So true. Yeah.
They've made us afraid of that, and that's the perfect thing for them to do, because in isolation we might discover ourselves.
Yes.
So if we make that a terrifying thing perceivably for us to be in, they're blocked another way for alignment and accessibility for how powerful we are, right?
Yeah, you've nailed it. Yeah, I mean, we have entire neurological systems in our body from our animal ancestors that are designed to create social attachments for us.
Right.
So we have these competing aspects. We have this animal aspect, which we need. It's our vehicle. It's our body. I mean, this loving gift that we have to live this life that we have. But we also have this human nature, and we have to use the animal has to become a servant of the spirit. That's what it wants to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So if we learn how know and embrace that, and we can work with that, then we can gain mastery over ourselves and liberate ourselves away from the cabal systems.
Yeah.
And like you said, being able to be in solitude and loving that experience and really embracing that is something that's truly rewarding, but we don't have a culture that supports that in the mainstream.
No way. No, in fact, part of the extreme punishment system is isolation.
Yes, exactly.
Okay? We're going to just put you in isolation. You can't behave yourself, can't think like everybody else, can't follow the rules, we're going to isolate you.
Right.
And we'll isolate you basically until you die in that box, if
exactly.
necessary.
Right.
And that's the worst thing ever, is to die.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they've got us afraid of death, which is an illusion, and of course terrified of how powerful we are.
Oh my God, yes, exactly.
Yeah, nearly perfect system until it's not.
Until it's not, right, exactly. So the beauty of understanding how the cabal uses our nature against us is that once you understand what your nature is, now you can use it for your own purposes and your own needs.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing. So
transparency, revealment, all of that. That's always the answer, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The mind exists to discover. When we discover things, we take the cover off. When we disclose something, we remove the masks.
Nice.
We go through an internal apocalypse so we can see ourselves more clearly. So.
Yeah, and we love to use the term emergency. That part where you're emerging, that fabulous point of emergence, right? You're going. I'm having an emergency. I'm having an emergency here,
like
and
that.
We've been taught that's a terrible thing. An emergency is a terrible thing.
Right.
And we're like, no. It's the coolest thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So, I think we're living in very interesting times because, on the one hand, things seem very dark, but this is exactly what we need to do to embrace that. And from a psychological perspective, when you embrace bravery, when you cultivate bravery, you really activate this kind of superpower in yourself.
You betcha.
Because psychologically, anything you resist, you activate these defense programs for that generate negative emotion. And you actually withdraw. So you literally start to blind yourself to the thing that you're resisting.
Right.
Which means you can't see the value that it has for you.
Right.
But we are beings of the Creator. We're creatures of the Creator. So the Creator sees value in all things.
All things. Of course.
And as beings of
Otherwise,
the Creator,
there'd be judgment in an aspect of itself.
Exactly.
Right.
So it has to. So if we have the capacity for Christ consciousness, if we can become God-like,
Absolutely.
which I think that's what we're here to do, then would we not also want to try to use love and bravery to see the value in all things?
Yeah.
And if we do that, what could we accomplish?
Right. And we're very blessed to have you at the event, Justin. And tell people, for people who can't be here, how do they find you and how they start to interact? Well, I told you before when I talked to you, I love the extraordinary blend with you of intelligence and your spiritual connection to things. It's incredible. I really want you to know that.
Thank you.
Okay? I really love that about you. Tell everybody how to find you.
You can go to my website, stillnessinthestorm.com. You can also find me on Twitter, which is at SITSSHOW or Sits Show. And then I also have my personal Twitter, which is at Justin Stillness or Just in Stillness. And that's who you can find.
Thank you for taking the time to chat with me again.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
All right. Everybody, we hope you have a great day. We'll be back in a little bit with more chit-chats, more interviews, and more insights in the Portal to Ascension conference. Thanks so much.